this module, we shall study about personnel audit and research. Verification and examination of accounts and records of the organization is called an audit. It is the way of control to check whether the things are going in a planned way or not. Personnel audit is a critical examination and evaluation of policies, programs and procedures in the area of human resource functions and its management. The purpose of personnel audit is to check that whatsoever planning related to human resource was done initially, that is, the managerial policies and procedures, rules, recruitment, selection, etc., have they come out to be worth for the benefit of the organization or not, whether the expected and planned outcome is same or not. It involves formal systematic analysis and comparison of effectiveness of personnel management to find out that the organizational objective for which an organization is created has been fulfilled while doing the personnel audit. It reveals how effectively the personnel policies and programs have been implemented. After studying this module, you shall be able to learn about the basic concept of personnel audit, learn about the objectives of personnel audit, identify the basis, benefits and scope of personnel audit, learn about the concept of personnel research, appreciate about the process, techniques and objectives of personnel research. Let us now discuss the definition of personnel audit. J. Marciniak, the personnel function audit consists of an examination of the fundamental issues related to the conduct of labor affairs throughout the enterprise. Personnel audit assumes strategic approach to personnel functions based on the utility and operational character. J. Brown, auditing involves the regular and systematic examination of organizational practices and accomplishments opposite organizational objectives, company policies, legal requirements and or professional standards. The purpose of HR audit is to conduct a more in-depth analysis of HR function to identify areas of strength and weakness and where improvements may be needed. Let us now discuss the objectives of personnel audit. The main objectives of personnel audit are stated as follows: to review all the plans related to human resource functions. Next, to evaluate the recruited of human resource. Next, to evaluate development of human resource through training programs etc. for achieving objectives. Next, to review the allocation and utilization of resources in the organization. To evaluate the implementation of personnel policies and programs and the goals achieved due to this. Next, to evaluate the personnel staff. Next, to evaluate the weaknesses and shortcomings in personnel policies and procedures, if any, for further improvements. Next, how far the personnel programs and policies been able to achieve the individual and organizational objectives. Moving on to the basis of personnel audit. The basis for doing personnel audit involves the following parameters: to check upon job analysis, effectiveness of recruitment sources and process, effectiveness of development program, training programs, short-term courses, etc. Job satisfaction survey. Various types of survey such as attitude surveys, wage and salary related surveys, job satisfaction, job appraisal surveys, frequency of accident survey, etc. Let us now understand the benefits of personnel audit. KPMG HR. Audit is the verification process of the policies, procedures, documentation, systems and practices with respect to the organization's HR function. The purpose of the HR audit is to show strengths and weakness in the HR system and any issues require resolution. HR audit works the best if is focused on analyzing and improving HR function in the organization. The following are to be the benefits of personnel audit. Provides a basis for measuring the effectiveness achieved in HR policies and programs. Next, helps in measuring the HR department. Next, since the HR procedures involves cost, if personnel procedures and policies turn out to be effective and implemented properly, then it will result in the reduction of cost. Helps in gaining knowledge if there are flaws, shortcomings, weaknesses, etc. found in HR policies, rules and procedures in analyzing the HR information system. Next, provides an overall review of HR department, policies, procedures, etc. Next, helps in stimulating the uniformity of HR policies and practices. Next, check whether the objectives are completing timely or not. Responsibilities and duties are performed by HR properly. Compliance of policies and rules. Moving further, let us now study the scope of personnel audit. The scope of personnel audit is that it is not just confined to one area, that is HR department, but the entire organization, because organization is composed of people and people at work and policies are created for every department of the organization. So, the scope of personnel audit is very wide. It covers the management of people at all levels. Personnel audit can be conducted to evaluate the policies and programs of HR, corporate strategies, climate functions, etc. It involves audit of personnel policies, audit of personnel programs, audit of personnel results, audit report. First, audit of personnel policies. Policies are broad statements of what should be done in a particular area. HR and policies are judged and analyzed in personnel audit. It generally seeks to provide answers about the following. Who has created the policy? Is the policy created was worth or does not require any change after proper analysis? Is there any participation of employees in the formulation of policies? A policy manual should be reviewed by an auditor properly and must see that is it accessible to employees or not and whether it is communicated to employees properly. The organizational objectives are the basis upon which all the policies are created. So, an auditor must see the consistency of policy with organizational and individual objectives. According to Dale Yoder, the need for personnel audit is highly influenced by the increase in the number of employees in the organization, need for continuous feedback in a complicated organization structure, need for effective communication, location and dispersion of plants, status of industrial relations manager and administrative style. Second, audit of personnel programs. Programs are the ways to carry out HR activities designed in the organization. Audit of personnel programs helps to reveal how well the personnel policies are implemented. It seeks to check the following: the procedural practices and programs, their effective implementation, their proper communication, their consistency with organizational objectives, to check uniformity in its implementation from time to time. Third, audit of personnel results. Personnel audit is not considered to be complete unless the output of personnel is judged and analyzed completely. All the HR practices and procedures that have been implemented are checked to see the execution results. In case of any deviation from planned policies and programs, appropriate action may be taken. The personnel results audit may be done. Various parameters evolved in the HR such as recruitment and selection of employees, termination of employees, frequency of accidents occurred at workplace, employees' grievances reduced or increased, transfers, promotion, reduction in labor turnover and absenteeism, etc. There are statistical data related to the above parameters in the organization on the basis of which ratios and percentages may be calculated and results are checked. Fourth, audit report. An audit report is submitted by a personnel auditor after examining and analyzing all the reports, policies, procedures, etc. to the personnel of the organization. A prescribed format is there for submitting an audit report. This report is meant for top management. The submission of report is time bound and must comply with the contents such as content table, preface giving a brief statement of objectives, conclusion and summary of the audit report, which is considered to be the most important part. Now, let us study about personnel research. Personnel research is a task of searching for and analyzing facts relating to the end that personal problems may be solved or principles and laws governing their solutions derived. According to Dale Yoder, personnel research implies searching, investigation, re-examination, reassessment and revaluation. According to Michael J. Jusius, personnel research is the task of searching for and analyzing facts to the end and that personnel problem may be solved or that guideline governing their solutions. Next, objectives of personnel research. The objectives of personnel research is stated as follows. Evaluates the present condition of various departments in the organization related to human resources. Next, predict for the future patterns for the organization on the basis of past trends. Next, predicting various behavioral trends. Next, examining and evaluating the personnel policies, procedures and programs developed for employees from time to time. Next, a basis for developing future policies and programs by making changes if any. Next, a way to know about the employee's attitude towards their job, their strengths and weaknesses. Next is process of personnel research. The process of personnel research includes the following steps. A specific process which is mostly scientific is very much important for the effective personnel research. So, every personnel manager should have the clear idea about the process of personnel research. The process of personnel research consists of some correlated stages which are given below one by one. A. Statement of purpose. The researchers must point out what is the purpose to do the research, why and how the result could be useful. The statement of purpose should also point out that given the problem, the present research is the easiest way of seeking an answer. B. Statement of problem. To find out the problem is another important stage in personnel research. Personnel research is the mean to answer to the problem faced by an organization. Here, the most important step is to state the problem correctly. C. Statement of method and procedure. The arrangement of conditions for collecting data that ensures the relevance mostly depends on the method and procedure. An important part in this section is the identification and selection of a sample group. The selection of the sample may be random. D. Statement of results. Statement of result based on the information collected refer to the relationship of the both dependent and independent variables. They may support or reject the hypothesis. To be sure that result reflects the influence of only the independent variable. Application of statistics quantifies the data and summarizes the data to permit generalization. E. Statement of analysis and implications. The personnel researchers' main concern is to visualize the implications of the result. The result should not be narrowly viewed to find only the answer to the problem faced. It should also be seen in a larger perspective which may support a theory or a conceptual framework. Personal research should solve personal problem for the employee and extend this knowledge to others for the use or replication. It can be done through the above ways. Next, functions of personal research. A personnel manager not only conducts researches for his own division but is often asked to undertake studies for other division. Personnel research serves the following functions. A. Building existing knowledge. Personnel research is a newer idea, so a huge number of topics are still unexplored. Unrecognized labor and its problem, female employment, group work performance and changing nature of supervisor are some areas which can be explored by the personnel research. B. Appraisal of proposed programs. Before a change is introduced, it should be ensured that it will be effective. An organization may be interested in replacing obsolete machine, staggering holidays and lunch break, or changing its appraisal method. Personnel research can help in predicting the employee's responses to these changes. C. Evaluation of current and new policies. Once a change is introduced, the changed agent must continuously evaluate its outcome. Opinion and attitude, survey and analysis of output and performances can provide signals to management about the efficiency of its policies and practices. Personnel research also can help in this field. D. Anticipation of personnel problems. The successful opening of an organization does not refer that it will remain so in future. A personnel manager is one who not only manages problem but can foresee problem and corrective measure. So, this is an important function of personnel research. Personnel research performs the above activities, thus the organization can achieve its predefined objectives. Next, techniques of personnel research. Historical studies such as old records related to labor turnover, absenteeism may be systematically examined to reach to a solution to a problem. Case studies of the past may be of great help in generalizing what has happened in the past on the basis of hypothesis stated. So, one has to be careful while applying to the solution of the past studies in present time, though it may be a basis for future research. The data related to the concerned problem may be collected, categorized and analyzed using statistical tools resulting into statistical inference for the hypothesis. The use of statistical method is increasing due to the development of high data processing equipment. A use of mathematical models may be done to establish relationship between variables having simple or complex relationship. Field or action research method involves direct involvement in the process of observation. Normally, this method is used by government employees, private consultants, etc. Let us now recapitulate what we have learned so far. Verification and examination of accounts and records of the organization is called an audit. Personnel audit is a critical examination and evaluation of policies, programs and procedures in the area of human resource management. Personnel audit involves formal, systematic analysis, comparison of effectiveness of personnel management, the organizational objective for which an organization is created is the main purpose of doing the personnel audit. The objective of personnel audit is to review all the plans related to human resource management, to evaluate the recruited of human resource, to evaluate development of human resource through training programs, etc. for achieving objectives, involves the review of allocating and utilizing resources in the organization, to evaluate the implementation of personnel policies and programs and the goals achieved due to this, to evaluate the personnel staff, to evaluate the weaknesses and shortcomings in personnel policies and procedures. The scope of personnel audit is that it is not just confined to one area, that is HR department, but the entire organization, because organization is composed of people and people at work, and policies are created for every department of the organization. So the scope of personnel audit is very wide. It covers the management of people at all levels. Personnel audit can be conducted to evaluate the policies and programs of HR, corporate strategies, climate, functions, etc. Audit of personnel programs includes the procedural practices and programs, their effective implementation, their proper communication, their consistency with organizational objectives to check uniformity in its implementation from time to time. An audit report is submitted by a personnel auditor after examining and analyzing all the reports, policies, procedures, etc. to the personnel of the organization. Personnel research is a task of searching for and analyzing facts relating to the end that personnel problems may be solved or principles and laws governing their solutions derived. The process of personnel research consists of various steps such as statement of purpose, statement of problem, statement of method and procedure, statement of results, statement of analysis and implications. The functions of personnel research includes building existing knowledge, appraisal of proposed programs, evaluation of current and new policies, anticipation of personnel problems. The techniques of personnel research are historical studies, case studies, mathematical model, field or action research, etc. Thank you.